Welcome to Dark Sorcery. I'm Alfredo Martinez, and I have with me once again Casting Cauldron. Casting Cauldron, it is good to have you back on.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to see you again.
All right. Well, yeah. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about candle magic and working with Lilith and astrology. But yeah, I understand that you had done some candle magic and gotten word from Lilith about to make a certain oil. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, I've been doing candle magic for over 5 years. That's like a habit I have. I just absolutely love doing candle magic. So I've learned a lot about it. But the process of me actually getting to meet Lilith came through my initiation with the Star Trek. And I was already kind of seeing where astrology was more than I thought it was. And something happened the very next day after I initiated with the Starte. I had a financial blessing like the next morning. And I think that was on a Friday. And I believe it was the next day, Saturday morning or maybe Monday morning. It was like within a day or two. As I was waking, I saw in my mind's eye a picture of Fraser and his wife, Lilith, next to her, the two of them together, and I heard the name Lilith. And I really know who Lilith was.
Mhm.
I was starting on this love affair with Astarte and trying to get to know Lilith at the same time. So that was in June of 2023, June 10th, on the solar eclipse. I initiated with Astarte. That's a very good time. I think I was led to know to initiate with a spirit. And so Lilith, of course, is her companion, her handmaiden. They work together. But it took me another, I don't know, 9 months or so to print out a picture, put it in a frame, and then candle and get some potpourri. And so I started making a little bit of a Lilith oil. I'd already made an Astarte oil. I opened an Etsy shop and dedicated it to Astarte. So when something happens really fast for me with the spirit, I fall in love with it. And so then I spend the next 12 months at least building a relationship with them. And I made a powder for her, an incense for her, and an oil for her. And then I had the pendants made and I consecrated them. And so that was going on. And then I was learning about Lilith. So I went to my chart because when you go to the Goetia, you can see all of the astrological information. And I've kind of come to say everything is astrology in a way.
Mhm.
The universe is numbers, the universe is sound, it's frequency, it's vibration, it's all those things. But, as above, so below is really a big thing. And as I looked, I said, okay, Astarte is at 28 degrees approximately in Taurus. So I went to my chart and I thought, I'm gonna write her in there because there's no way to calculate a way to get Astarte to come up in your natal chart. Now, she might be in the list of Goetia, but she's called the Queen of Heaven. She's the one who started guiding me to actually look at stars and get away from Western astrology. She pointed me to sidereal astrology. And when I went back to do my chart in sidereal, I was blown away because the only thing that was correct was my sun sign, which is Cancer. But my rising is Pisces. And it just all began to make sense because I used to wonder why. Am I always in the astral or, dreaming or whatever?
Yeah.
And everything, as I studied more and more and more, pointed to the system of the stars, Siberia. So the rising is a big part of who you are, not just your country. And then my moon was in, my Saturn was in the wrong place. My moon was in the wrong, almost everything was in the wrong place. But everything I put together in Siberia began to make sense as I continued to work with the stars. So with Lilith, I looked up her astrological correspondences and said, holy moly, she's right next to a star gate in my second house of Taurus.
That's so cool.
I know. And I began to find out that Black Moon Lilith is such a occult aspect of us that, I really, it wasn't ever in my chart. My mother had my chart done. I had done my Western. And until I got the correspondences, the calculations you need to put in for your Lilith to come up, did I all of a sudden go, oh my God, there's a Black Moon Lilith in my natal chart. And
Yeah, and go ahead.
there's two other Liliths, but those don't really matter. It's the Black Moon Lilith that you need to look.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, yes, you have a sun sign, you have a moon sign, you have a rising sign, but you can also find Lilith there as well. And there's different ways of going about it. People have the black moon Lilith, the asteroid Lilith, dark moon Lilith. But I would say the black moon Lilith is usually the point in space that's representing the moon that's the farthest point from Earth. Is that right?
Well, that's what I've heard from some knowledgeable astrology. In fact, one of them said, don't pay attention to the other ones because it's like asking a Barbie doll what a woman is like. Your Black Moon Lilith is the one you need to really be working with.
Okay. Yeah, and looking at that can be very beneficial because Lilith, through this method of astrology, can show us aspects of ourself that are taboo and that it can force us to do shadow work and allow us to overcome that and basically to break the chains, you know what I mean, and become a stronger person as a result of that. Would you agree with that?
Well, that's what she's been teaching me along with the It's surprising because I thought, wow, after all my work on myself, I have to do more shadow work.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Um,
in the second house, so that's kind of relate to this place. Values, childhood, inherent values. What happened was several years after, I had an incredible dream with a snake that was coming up and around my neck. And I have a picture of her with a snake. And the snake is talking to me. And
okay.
talked me. I don't know if you've seen that video.
I haven't seen that one, no.
Every Saturday, I put out her picture. That's all I did. I'm like, "Hey." And then, I'm like, get off me. She said, no. And two other female voices there too that said, Julie has been transforming for a while now. So something happened with this energy of her and me. Finally, I think I had been examining my life. I had been examining the values my mother held, the values that other people held in my life and my childhood. And I was still examining things my mother did that I adopted that just don't fit for me. They don't work for me. And I have to have my own values, which money and the way I like to live and expressing myself. And, he also helped me I think, realized the word narcissism. I did not know what was going on with my partner, and I did not know why my mother was the way she was. And it was after I came to realize that I had the dream. So it was like, congratulations, he finally figured out stuff that, and that's why I say sometimes we need to put a name or a label on something just to get a handle on that suitcase of stuff we've been carrying it around. And then we can kind of let it go. So yeah, I felt very, very light after that. I was able to go to work, and I just wasn't really as stressed. And I haven't been since then. So learned about Kundalini, and I've been going to the Hindu temple and, getting rid of all negative ideas I might have had left over about snakes. I'm very much into the snake energy and Shiva and the snake and what all that means. And I'm learning what it means to the Hindus.
Mhm. Okay, so you had mentioned about Black Moon Lilith, but you'd say Black Moon Lilith is the way to go rather than Dark Moon Lilith. And why would you say that that is, if you had to explain to somebody?
In doing my research, I have been finding astrologers that are very experienced, and they say that that one is the one that can really help you evolve more than working with the other Liliths that are in other places in your chart. So I thought, I'm just going to keep going with what I'm doing right now with Black Moon Lilith and her position in my chart. And I pull out, like I said, the photograph and a candle every Saturday. And this Saturday, something said to me, you need to make more oil. You didn't really have very much, and you need to make it really good. So I thought, okay, I got a jar for a master bottle, and I still had all of the organic flowers and herbs, and I had steeped some apricots in oil a year ago
Okay.
with some preservative, and I was saving it for something special. And I pulled it out and said, here it is. Because years back, I'd come to realize and understand that apricots are aphrodisiac.
Okay.
So I thought, I'm going to put it in there. And everything else that I put in, which I think I use grapeseed oil,
Mm-hmm.
and I put in my flowers and my herbs. And some patchouli. Now, I don't put any personal effects into any of the oils that I make or sell.
Okay.
So then I put it in the jar, and I put it on a table over here. And I put 3 purple candles around it because I had received that in a vision. One time as I was chanting, I kind of fell asleep, and I saw 3 purple candles around the sigil I was getting ready to charge. So I put 3 purple candles in a triangular formation around it to ritualize it, to charge it. And I drew a sigil, gave an offering, burned it through the ashes outside, and let the candles finish burning. And so now I put it out in the sun. It's going to be out in the sun infusing for the next, till about May 10th. So
Okay.
for 30 days, it's going to be infusing. I did a short, I think, and I showed people what I was doing, and this is the jar. You see, I put a sigil on there,
Mm-hmm.
and I like doing this for people. I think it adds another element to. She's primarily about inherent value, but sometimes I think we need. There's so many stresses going on in our life that the apricot oil can help.
Mm-hmm.
it makes it a little bit more of a type of addition to your romantic self or
Right.
the yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I found out Mars was in Cancer. So that even adds a little bit more.
Oh, there you go. The Mars, the lust part of Lilith, that brings it alive. Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. Of course.
So I thought, all right, this is really going to be a good oil this time. So I'll be putting that in some pretty bottles. I got this one and I embellished it. And the other one is over there. This is a bottle I got for a large amount of Astarte oil. It's about 3 ounces or so.
Yeah.
Instead of a little 1 ounce dropper, I thought, let me get a pretty bottle and just make a bigger amount, for people. This is a way to work with your astrological chart. I have found Astarte to be so beneficial because of the energy that she carries. The 3 energies that she carries have helped me win 2 contests, if not more. In my study and practice in the beginning, because I started around 2001, and I really got into all the study and the practice. After about 4 years is when I hit gold. I started working with these 3 energies, 3 days in a row to win a contest, and we won it. So I did it again, and I won again. Yeah, but so I thought, hey, Astarte's got all that in her. I can connect to her, work with her, and have those energies there. And I have received countless blessings in different ways since June 10th of 2021. So that's why I sing her praises. And then, of course, Black Moon Lilith is there to help those of us who really want to get over the deep-seated challenges that can help us evolve to such a degree. The astrologers that I have listened to say you could achieve what's called moksha, which means you don't have to come back again. You don't want to.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. And some people, if they look at, Black Moon Lilith and Lilith as far as astrology goes, a lot of people just assume that, oh, well, let me just look up my astrological sign and see what that is compared to Lilith. No, what you do is you calculate it, and then usually it'll show you a different sign. Like you could and it will reveal the shadow side of yourself. So you could have problems with relationships. It could be self-identity. It could be materialism, but you're not going to know that until you just not be lazy, but take the time to calculate it and then see because it could be in a completely different sign, a completely different house. I think a lot of people just say, well, let me just look up my astrological sign and Lilith and compare it. You think a lot of people they take that for granted and they end up getting the wrong information that way?
Yes, and I'm also thinking of offering a sidereal chart to be done to calculate what somebody's Black Moon Lilith is. If they really want to start working with this, you need to know where it is. It's still going to have to do with inherent value. And like I said, all you have to do is get a picture and a candle and connect with her every Saturday. If it's in Scorpio, you've got issues with intimacy in your sexual side.
Mm-hmm.
And be, expressed in very dark, unhealthy ways. So this is a very good thing to be helping you understand and work with rather than have a lot of problems. Absolutely. So, and then for people that would like to know what their true rising is, I think I want to offer that as well. But it needs to be done in sidereal astrology. And I could offer that on my coffee account.
Yeah, and anyone who's watching, I'm going to have those links right below in the video description. I think, a lot of people, I recommend them to work with Lilith if they're having, there's certain emotional baggage that they have that they've been carrying around. Not only that, if they're having problems with their love life with their partner, but not only that, but a lot of people, it's the emotional baggage that a lot of people overlook, and they say, well, I guess this is just what I know. Lilith can reveal that to you and help you. You don't have to carry that baggage anymore. There's so much freedom that can come out of this.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better.
And you had mentioned that initially this all started with candle magic when you had done candle magic. And again, I stress to people that you have to go into it with the right intention, because if you had not gone into this with the right intention, if your intent was not completely clear or somewhat vague, um, or your incantations were somewhat vague, you would not have gotten none of this revealed to you. And I think some people get frustrated with that, and they don't realize that you have to have a clear intent. Your incantations have to be very clear when you go into something like this. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely. I think people that just think she's, a dominatrix and they want that, or they want a succubus, or, you know, um, however it works out for them, I don't know. But I think ultimately, hopefully, they're being led to find out what their issue really is, and then they get to their chart and their sidereal astrology. It all comes to that. Find out where it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's been it's been a fascinating talk about Lilith, and I encourage people to go ahead and check out their Dark Moon Lilith. You can kind of Google it and maybe read up on it. There's books out there too, but I'd like to encourage people to check out Casting Cauldron's link. Her links in below in the video description. And also, I understand that you have a book, a PDF book.
Yes, I have an ebook. I had started out with meditation years ago, and then I learned positive affirmations little by little, more and more and more, getting a handle on my emotions and my sense of self. Again, we're talking about our inherent value. Uh, and so, as I advanced in that, by practicing several times a day, I had a gigantic somatic release and discovered that words are very powerful, self-esteem is very powerful, and that can be created and facilitated from deep within so that you know it and you feel it and you're not faking it.
Yeah, I think as witches, we come to a point to where even if you're going to do something divination, before the answer even comes, you just feel it. And I think that's when it clicks, like, aha, I've finally arrived. I'm finally progressed on this path. I can just, my intuition, my gut, my solar plexus will just tell me. And it's, whether you're doing a card reading or using a pendulum, it'll just come. And I think that what it sounds like is your book can get someone very closer to that step.
Oh, absolutely. It's you're working directly with your subconscious mind. And when I took hypnotherapy, my teacher said that that can facilitate uh, recovery 50% faster than conventional talk therapy alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So yeah, anyone who wants to go ahead and purchase that book, I would encourage them to check out the links below in the video description. Is there anything else you want to mention that you're offering?
I do have products and services on my coffee account. I'm going to be having to add more pictures for the oils in the pretty bottles. I have um, a booking for a consultation also there. So you just have to go and look under shop and look under um, products and commissions, and you'll see what I have so far.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, Casting Cauldron. Thank you for your time. Everyone, check out her YouTube channel. I encourage you to look at her YouTube channel. She goes more into depth on what she's been talking about, and she's goes into depth on other topics on the occult and magic. So make sure you go to her channel and subscribe. Thank you, Casting Cauldron, for coming on. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome, Alfredo, and thanks again for having me.
You're welcome. And everyone who's watching, make sure you like and subscribe to Dark Sorcery.